On today's Buckeye Roast, the AP poll is out, and we'll break down where Ohio State stands as kickoff gets closer. Meanwhile, Reddit has a song suggestion for Ross Bjork, and we have to talk about it. Then, after what we saw this weekend, we ask, were any of the missed field goals during Ryan Day's era worse than Pat McAfee's misses? And while we're at it, has anyone heard from the special teams coach? And finally, has Ryan Day erased her Michigan Demons yet? If not, how many more wins over the Wolverines will it take? We discuss. I'm Kris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q, right here on Dead Air Sports.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
I'm good. We've made it through the hard part of the week. It's only 4 more days to go, but we're here on this happy Tuesday. So how are you?
Confused me, honestly, because we recorded such an odd time. Like, I don't know what day of the week it is. And you hit me with like, we made it through the hard part of the week. I'm like, was it really just Wednesday? No, it was just Monday. We're only one day into this thing.
And here we go. We're moving now. We're moving and grooving.
We are moving, Q. And we aren't that far into the week, but you did take some of the work off my plate. I heard you have a stat for me today.
I actually have some trivia. So this has been going around, but this was on my side of social media. If you're a little peek behind the curtain, me and Ron have very different social media content that we get on a day-to-day basis. But this has to do with our show. Some of you may have seen it, but if you haven't, feel free to play along. So I have the programs with the top 5 number of arrests since the year 2000. I want you to guess these top 5 teams with the most arrests since 2000. And I will, when you guess the teams, I will give you the number of how many arrests they actually had.
Miami.
Good guess. Miami is at number 2 with 454 total arrests.
454 total arrests for their football program in the last 25 years.
Since 2000.
That's insane. That's some good negative recruiting right there.
That's a good start.
Definitely Miami.
Okay.
Georgia.
They are in the top 10, but they are not in the top 5.
Oh, wow. Georgia not in the top 5.
They're slowly catching up. Give them time.
Florida State?
Yes. Florida State is at number 3 with 436 total arrests. You're in a hotbed right now.
I'm in a hotbed right now. Should we just keep it rolling? Florida?
Florida is number 1 with 539 total arrests. Number 1 on the list. You got 2 more. 2 more teams that we talk about pretty regularly.
That we talk about pretty regularly.
Very prominent in college football.
LSU?
No, LSU.
Alabama.
Alabama is number 4 at 402 overall arrests. You got 1 more.
Nick Saban's Alabama. You wouldn't think. If they properly prosecuted those cheaters in Ann Arbor, I know they would be on the list, but it's mainly their coaches going to jail, not necessarily
not
their
the players.
Except for when they hit that gun charge for that D tackle. But I digress. While I stall here, I'm trying to think. It has to be. Is it another Southern program?
We are moving away from the South, but
can I get a conference?
The Big Ten.
The Big Ten. I know it's not my Buckeyes.
Ohio State is number 5 at 389 total arrests.
You didn't tell me to wear my pearls for this episode.
Oh, man, yeah. So that is your top 5. Florida, Miami, Florida State was Jesus Christ, all in one, the big 3. Then you got Alabama and Ohio State. Yeah, LSU was up there in the top 10. Georgia's up there in the top 10. So definitely some prominent programs in there. But that was surprising me, Ohio State being at number 5.
I'm going to shoot the Florida schools some bail. Our guy Cam has a theory that being in that much sun does something to your brain. They need a winter. So it's just too much heat down there in Florida. That's the only explanation.
Yes, year-round you were able to commit crimes without getting cold.
It's a lot easier to commit crimes when you don't have to put a coat on to do it.
There you go.
All right, Q. Well, we got plenty to get into. That was a great start to the show.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. Play the song. Let's get into it.
What the hell is a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right onto the computer.
Dead air.
Real quick, do want to get back to Ron and Q. Really excited that Buckeye Roast is back. While you are here, make sure you like and sub. We are on the way to 10,000 subs. You guys have been incredible, showed incredible support last year, first year on the channel, and you guys have shown incredible support this offseason. So thank you for bearing with me, but I'm excited to kick it to the real talented guys again. While you're here, make sure you like and sub, leave a comment, and yeah, we appreciate you again for rocking with us for another season right here on Dead Air Sports.
Q, I've just been sitting here thinking about what better way could I follow up that start to the show that you had than with your favorite thing for our show.
What would that be?
A copyright strike. Q, I was on Reddit today.
The YouTube crimes continue.
I am a YouTube felon at this point when it comes to copyright strikes on this channel. Q, I was on Reddit and I randomly get notifications when a story is really buzzing about Ohio State on Reddit. And this is a topic that we've discussed on the show quite a few times. When Ross Bjork took over as athletic director at Ohio State, he tried to integrate a few new traditions at Ohio State, one of them being a new game day song leading into the fourth quarter, and that song has been officially retired. I don't even remember the name of it. It was Ohio something.
Camp Ohio?
Camp Ohio, yeah, I think that's
yeah.
what it was. And we discussed a few other potential options, but one that I keep seeing floated around is this.
I run the game, you stupid mother suckers. I see all this money through my Ohio State Buckeyes. Shit been going good, but good could turn to better. Cause you the type to loser, and I'm about to get her. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You can run and tell your friends that I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. Best believe I understand. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Q, I have to ask you, is a money on Tundra enough to get you a tradition at Ohio State? Like, I get it. They say Buckeyes in the song. I'm a Drake fan. I like that song.
Yes.
But is it enough? I don't think so. There's so many songs that I think fit that category. Is that what we want to give it to? Pause.
Well, I mean, you can never go wrong with Drake and Wayne. It is a known song, so it was very popular. Given it was said almost like 15 years ago at this point of how old that song is. Really, that's very young Drake on the come up. So we need more Ohio State mentions in all the 50 million albums that he's put out since then. I don't mind it because it's more casual. Like, it doesn't give me like football, but what does Michigan have? I always forget their freaking song, Mr. Brightside. Like, it's got nothing to do with football.
It's literally about getting cucked.
Yeah, has nothing to do with football. It's a catchy song. Everybody knows it when it comes on, so people sing it. So it's better than that. I would give it that much. I don't mind it if it's just everybody gets in the stadium and you play it and it's not like right before game time, because that's not going to get you hyped to go play. You know, it's like, damn, we about to go to the club tonight, spend some money, you know? So it's like, it's more that tone, but it's better than Camp Ohio.
I mean, a song about spending money, given the way our recruiting's going, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it, you know? I like it, but I don't hate it.
I mean, do you have any other suggestions? I know we've talked about this in the past. Do you remember what your suggestion was last year when we did this exercise?
Oh, go again, yeet. That was
That'd still be your pick in 2026.
I still think it's a solid choice because it blends in definitely multiple genres of music. So I think it's a solid choice. I don't know, man. I feel like songs like I always think like I want to pick something that is okay for everybody and they're inclusive. And if we go more into what I would play before the song gets less and less inclusive,
Think
I
about,
feel
like,
like
some
I feel like what,
YG?
yeah,
Like
and I feel like what
YG, that's a good idea.
I feel like I'm like the start of that, and then you're gonna continue into that. Like, once we get to Ron's real choices, like what you pick more and more, it's even less inclusive. So,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was watching an episode of the Landon Tangwell show or one of his appearances, and someone asked him about when they play Mo Bamba at Penn State. They asked him, "Does the student section censor themselves?" So I feel like you would want to pick a song that everybody could sing along to, so you don't have to worry about demographics as far as participation for the song. Let us know down in the comments if you got to pick the fourth quarter song, what you would pick, or would you just like play Hang On Sloopy 3 times in a row?
again, I think
I mean, you can't go wrong with that either.
I think because college, in its essence, is a young man's game, which it is, and it's for the college students. I think it's always got to be something like, even if you start, and I think that's what they're afraid to do. They're afraid to exclude the big donors and, the casual fan who I'm 40 and I went to Ohio State 20 years ago, and I can finally afford tickets because it costs $1,000 to go to a game. So I think they don't want to exclude those people, but college is always a young man's game. So I think whatever you do, you had to include something the kids are listening to, the students are listening to, the players are listening to. I think that's where you always got to go if you want a song that's going to be popping and getting the crowd ready for the fourth quarter.
Q, I don't have this queued up to the point that I'm going to pause the show right now and go get the song because it sounds like you're requesting a specific song right now.
Okay.
By everything that you described, there's only one song that comes to mind that could possibly fit that criteria.
What song?
You said you wanted a song that the donors could feel that they're a part of.
Hey,
everybody in the stadium, 108,000 people singing "Spend That Shit." We might be onto something. If anybody has Ross Bjork's ear, send them a link to the show.
That is all inclusive. Everyone can relate. Whether you get your $10 allowance and buy buy your girl Valentine's Day candy, or you're like Ross Bjork, you really got it like that. You could throw some bread. Hey, I'm not opposed.
That's one thing that everybody in the Ohio State fan base can agree on, that we want our donors to spend that shit.
There we go. Players singing it. College
players
kids
singing it, fans singing it.
Fans. I'm good. I'm good with it.
Q, I wanted to pivot to a little bit more serious topic, and by serious I mean wholly unserious, and that is the AP poll.
Yeah.
The Buckeyes come in atop their second national poll at number 1. I wanted to start, obviously, with our Buckeyes. Q, do you feel like there's a target on the Buckeyes back at number 1, or do you just feel like this is brand recognition?
Yeah. So I feel like this is, and we talk about this. We had the FPI come out. We had all these different hardest schedule. And this almost feels like the overcorrection to that. Like, they were like, oh, too much, huh? All right, let's go in the other way. And, Ron, we love Ohio State more than the average man. So much so we spend 20, 30 hours a week strictly talking Ohio State and doing Ohio State content. At a minimum. It's how much time we were going to put into the show and pre- and post-production and all the things we do. I would still say Ohio State is too high on the, and I love my Buckeyes. I would say Ohio State is too high on this list. I think you look at everything they lost, bringing an NFL coordinator, so you expect the offensive play calling at least be a lot better with an NFL head coach running it. But they you would say, if you say the best rosters in college football, you're looking at Oregon, you're looking at Notre Dame, and you're probably looking at Texas, and you're saying, okay, if there's going to be a number one team, it's probably one of those three, I would say. I think Georgia is a little bit too high at 3 as well. We'll get to that in a minute. But I would say Ohio State 3 or 4 would probably make the most sense here. Even if you put those 3 in front and have them at 4, I'd be okay with that. I think that's a more realistic kind of expectation for how the season would go, especially, not to go off the rails, but we had people talk about how they be unranked because their schedule's so hard and all this and that. Can't be both that and they're the number one team in the nation right now.
Well, if anyone got it right, I'm going to go with the ones that said we're the best team in the country. Obviously, but Q, the AP really disagrees with you, being that 40 people voted for Ohio State as the number one team. 4 other teams received first place votes. Q, can you name them?
I cheated because I have them all written down.
All
Sorry.
that have them?
Oregon, Indiana, there's no SEC teams, and Notre Dame?
You're missing one.
Missing one. Miami.
There you go.
Sorry, I cheated it. My bad.
Miami did receive first place votes. Do you feel like Miami's low at 7?
I'd say I'm okay with that. Like, for most of these, I think Ohio State's a little too high. I'll probably, if I switched, I guess, Georgia and Texas and then moved Ohio State over bad, I think that would be a little bit better. I think Miami lost a little bit, but obviously replacing a quarterback, probably a better quarterback. Lost a bit on defense because they had probably the best pass rush we've seen since, like, have those Alabama teams with Nick Saban where they stack talent. So I think they're in a good spot. I think the spots behind them are ridiculous. But I'd say I think Miami is in a good spot because you expect them to be back in the playoffs, probably with another chance to go to the Natty, maybe in a semifinal, maybe in a quarterfinal somewhere and fall in there. So I think they're okay.
When you look at Oregon at 2, do you think that says more about the belief in Dan Lanning and the Oregon program as a whole, or the belief in Dante Moore, the talent that could lift this program that has 0 national championships to championship contention?
Yeah, that would be the one, and the Dan Lanning problem of their postseason performance would be the one reason I would be okay not having them as the number one team. I mean, I think them and Texas are kind of mirrors of each other. I think they both have probably the best rosters in college football with coaches that haven't got it done if you just look at talent in the postseason. Because Oregon is NIL proof. They get who they want, and like buying a player is not a problem. You either want to go to Oregon or you don't. You don't be like, I ain't going to Oregon because I ain't getting paid. They all do. And Oregon was one of the few teams that didn't lose anybody in the transfer portal that they wanted to keep with their NIL. So I think the talent is there. I'm okay with them at number 2 because I'm like, they just haven't got over the hump. So it's hard to say they're the best team in college football. But if you're gonna, buy this new poll and it's a new season, there's not really much of a reason not to have Oregon as your number one team because I do believe they probably have the best roster.
I feel like we disagree about the merit of Georgia at 3. Go ahead and tell me why you're not a fan of that.
Georgia is kind of Georgia. Well, they've been on this downward trajectory. Said they haven't won a play. Like James Franklin, we give a lot of flack for. 1 more playoff games to Kirby Smart. I get he had an easy schedule or whatever, but
more 12-team playoff games.
Yeah, more 12-team playoff games. But he's very close. He is like hair close to beating Notre Dame and having a national championship appearance. So I still don't want to say we say that and like, oh, they lost to Notre Dame. Well, Notre Dame, that was a very tight game and they barely lost it at the end. So Georgia, there's nothing on their roster. I know they're going to call out and play solid defense, but there's nothing about that team that I'm saying, oh, this is going to be the bounce back year for Georgia. Oh, they got this guy, they got that guy. It's like they're kind of what they had last year and run it back. Unless there's something I'm missing about their roster, I expect them to be solid. I expect them to compete for an SEC championship, but I don't know. You tell me, do you expect Georgia to be gangbusters and be like a contender? Do you expect Georgia to be in the semifinal this season of college football?
No, but I'd much rather be wrong with Georgia at 3 in my preseason poll than Texas A&M. Like that, and that's where I get it, because when you look at this and you're looking at your top 10, it's like, oh, am I gonna bet on Brett Venables? Am I gonna bet on fucking Pete Golding? Am I gonna bet on D. Sarkisian? Like I've already watched Marcus Freeman lose a national championship. There's one coach right now active in college football. I mean, I guess we could act like Dabo is still a person, but like clearly the AP isn't acting like he's a person. Like Kirby Smart's the only coach with a pulse that has 2 national championships. And I feel like if I'm doing a preseason poll, I feel like putting the coach with 2 national championships and still cares about recruiting at the number 3 school, it's like, how much are you really faulting voters? Because I mean, what are they trying to achieve with this poll?
The thing is, I don't know. I don't know the purpose of the AP poll because we don't start taking polls seriously until there's some unserious in this poll that we'll get to, but we don't start taking polls seriously until the college football playoff poll because that's really the only one that matters for football at the level we cover it. But I just look at it and I'm like, okay, we talk about, let's say the semifinal is the bar. I don't know what the probability is, but is Ohio State have a better chance of being in a semifinal? For me, yes. Oregon, yes. Notre Dame, yes. Texas, yes. Indiana, yes. Miami, yes. Now Georgia is what, 6, 7? I would give all those. We don't know what the other teams are, but I should have did that. But I would expect, like, I would give those teams a better chance of all being in the semifinal before Georgia this year, right now.
Hey guys, big thank you for 60 700 subscribers. It's been awesome. You guys have been kind of crushing every goal, and I'm excited for the continued growth. Look, every like, every comment, every share, all of that helps us. Every sub, that all helps us as we try to get to 10K before the year ends. So, do want to kick it back to Ron and Q, but thank you guys again.
I don't play that because I find 6-7 jokes funny in the big year of 2026. I find it funny how mad it makes you when I play that video. That is the joke.
Yeah, my bad. I'm gonna add it to words I can't. Phrases, words I can't say. We're just gonna add that right to the. My bad, y'all.
Q's least favorite video we've ever played on this entire platform. But back to the AP poll, you were saying in regards to the 6 and 7 spot, I believe you were talking about.
Well, I said if I say who's going to be in the semifinal, who has a better chance, I think Georgia is probably down there before we get to this run of complete SEC hand job that they gave for the rest of the 10. But yeah, I don't know, Ron. Like on your gauge of Georgia right now, like this was the thing. We saw that ridiculous video about Ohio State, how they haven't adapted to the new trajectory of college football, how they're going to be on this downward trajectory. That kind of is Georgia. They went back to back right before NIL really took off at the beginning of that. They haven't seemed to adapt it. And like, I get it. The whole conference is taking a step down, so it doesn't look that bad because they got an SEC championship, but they have been like, not even showing up in the college football playoff. They got demolished by Notre Dame, very much outplayed. They goes to lose to Ole Miss, who couldn't play any defense at all. They couldn't stop them. And that's the thing. It wasn't like, Ole Miss was a low-scoring game. Ole Miss found a way to get points. They couldn't stop them boys at all. That is Georgia's calling card. When Georgia stops playing defense, I stop buying into the program because that's what they are. They're not going to come light it up. People are complaining about Bobo for 5 years now, and he's only been there for 3. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not buying any favorite. When they stop playing defense, I'm out. I'm like, look, y'all had Zachariah Branch, and I forgot he was playing there. Like, I'm good. I'm not buying anything that doesn't have Georgia playing great defense. They ain't doing that. I'm out.
Are you telling me that you feel like at this point you are ready to say that Kirby Smart is closer to the trajectory of Dabo Sweeney than he is Nick Saban?
I mean, that's so far in extremes of.
It feels like that's what you're describing. If he has 2 national championships and he's falling off, he's no longer ascending and chasing Nick Saban as far as titles or legacy. And if you believe that, NIL has done this program in and Kirby Smart is not recovering, this isn't a guy that's going to start rattling off championships from a inferior conference, the lesser conference of the 2 power conferences in the sport, would that not place him on the trajectory of Dabo Sweeney?
The thing is, Dabo fell really off of Oh yeah, Clemson's not on here. They really fell. They really.
I said that like 3 minutes.
I know.
I was
I'm just
literally saying like we're talking like there's no.
They're off.
Like you got to give Kirby the credit because he's the only coach with 2 national championships and a pulse. I was talking about Dabo Sweeney because you look at this list and Dabo you think, oh, is Kirby getting the bump because he's a 2-time national champion? Like that wasn't even enough to bump Missouri out of the charity SEC spot at 25.
Which we'll get to. I will say this. He's not pulling a Dabo. Dabo's completely off the cliff at this point. You know when they used to do like contender and pretenders? Like that used to be, they used to use the NFL term all the time. Like who's really competing for a championship and who's just hanging around, but they're not really on that level. If I'm looking at my top 5 teams and who I think is going to be, or top 6, who I think is going to be in the semifinal, right now I got Georgia as a pretender. And that doesn't mean they won't win the SEC. Like that doesn't mean they won't be back in the championship, maybe play somebody and get it done. It's just, I don't think they have the capability right now to win a national with the offensive play calling
this year, or what is your time
in the near future. I need to see something different from Georgia until I can go forward and say, okay, now they're competing year in year out.
What is it that you need to see?
Offensive coordinator has to change. They got to get a better offensive identity. I think that's the one thing of like we talk about ebbs and flows with Ohio State. When the offense isn't as good, the defense somehow just rises. And it's like, okay, we can win games at 17 points, though we shouldn't have to. Or, damn it, our defense sucks. We're going to go out there with C.J. Stroud and score 50 and see if Georgia can keep up. Like, there's the ebb and flow in that. I don't feel that ebb and flow with Georgia. It's like, man, this offense ain't that good. Well, the defense is solid. Okay, now the defense isn't great because one of those Ohio State-ish teams, Ole Miss, who was all offense, no defense, just went out there and beat them. It's like, man, I just don't. I got to see some, at least the defense either has to be 2021, 2022 elite, or they really got to come out and show it, and not just regular season, in the playoffs to show us, hey, this Georgia team again, because Stetson Bennett did it. We can score 40 and win games. I got to see that. I got to see something.
Hugh, I wanted to pivot a little bit, but also stick with the SEC. You talked about the fact that, you know, they need a mature rating on the AP poll when they release it with how much love they give to the SEC on this. I mean, the floor is yours. There's 7 teams, I believe, in the top 13.
Yeah. And it's just like them, they're all stacked right behind each other. You got 4 SEC teams in a row, 5 out of 6 if you count Alabama in there, 13, who most of those teams I would probably give a little more faith to. Texas A&M had no one on their schedule last year. I think they're as much pretender as Georgia is. I don't know. Ole Miss lost everything. How they're back there at 9, and you know, I hate to give credit. Michigan right now is projected to finish with 2 losses.
And this is why we are, I feel like, perfect co-hosts for each other, because you brought up Michigan as I'm sitting here looking at this graphic, and like I do not like to show love to our ops, but like when you look at 8 through 13, how many of those teams are you like, yeah, they would whoop Michigan?
I mean, probably none. If you expect they'd be better last year with an actual real head coach. But even a better question for you. The bar for the top 10, top 12, you're not hanging out there with more than 2 losses, really. Michigan is projected to have 2 losses by the end of the season. Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU. You're telling me all those teams are finishing with 2 losses? No. A couple of them, whoever you think is better, and Alabama, probably better. A few of them is probably going to be worse than 2 losses by the end of if the SEC is what they say it is, and it's so hard to play. Everybody can't finish with 2 losses. So it's like, Ole Miss, give me the over. Oklahoma might be teetering that line. Texas A&M, just depending on their schedule, I haven't looked at it. No one knows what LSU is. And people are talking about the heat really turning up here at Alabama. They all are not going to finish 11-2, 10-2.
Yeah, you talk about Michigan's projection. I mean, a team that they're not projected to lose to, according to some sports books, is number 10 Oklahoma. I know this game's at home for Michigan, but they're a 2.5-point favorite according to some books in this game. I just look at this and I wonder how many will it take? Like, do we have to play the LeBron clip? Not one, not two, not three. How many Big Ten championship or Big Ten national championships before we are done playing this game of, okay, fine, we'll concede that Ohio State and Oregon are the two best teams in the country, but the next 14 is the entire SEC. Like, how long do we have to tell this lie?
Yeah, or just the bar between that stack and then you have the Big Ten stack because you go to 14 or what should be 15. The graph is off. 15 SC, 16 Michigan, Washington, Penn State. You take those four and play them out. You would say those group of 8 teams are probably pretty comparable on the field. They're close. You could say USC may project to finish a little bit better this year. Michigan, we talked about, they're supposed to be 10-2. Washington might lose 3 games. Penn State's schedule is terrible, but if we say on the field, competition.
I feel like Penn State's schedule is so easy. If they lose 3 games, you should fire your coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why are we going 8-11 on one and 14-18 on the other? Shouldn't these be blended in there somewhere where it's like, all right, Michigan might be a little bit behind Texas A&M, and then I'll throw in Alabama. Then I think, USC's right. Like, it's not even, it's like, okay, we got to get all these SEC teams in. All right, we got them all. Okay, oh yeah, who's still good in the Big Ten? All right, now let me put them up there. It's like, it felt like there was they didn't even care after 12-13 and just started writing in anybody they forgot versus actually evaluating these teams and how good they are or how good they should be.
Who's your sleeper that you think the AP did forget? Is there someone that you're not seeing on this list that you're like, that's someone that I believe in?
Not in particular. I guess we'll have to see. I don't have one off the top of my head. Do you have one?
I mean, if I win this Akron raffle, I'd probably slip them in the top 25 if I'm going to be calling plays on the first drive. But other than that, no, I don't. One of the things that we talked about this offseason was I don't care what nobody's talking about right now. Like, I don't care. Just spot the ball. I'm ready. I'm ready to watch some football at this point. Like, I don't care about the preseason AP poll, quite frankly, even though we spent the last 10 minutes talking about it. What's it matter? Because what's the stat there? The last time the AP number one, the preseason AP number 1 team won a national championship was what, 2017?
Yeah, I actually have a
Doesn't mean the
stat.
Buckeyes can't do it, but I mean, I think it tells us more that these writers don't know shit. So,
Well, Ron, we do have a curse, and I saw this stat. Ohio State did not win the national championship the last 8 times being number 1 in the AP preseason poll.
well, like I always say, the 9th time's the charm.
we
say that
certainly,
frequently.
we certainly hope so. But yeah, one more thing I wanted to point out, which was kind of crazy to me. So we look down there and we always talk about this. We talk about this FPI and sneaking in SEC teams just to boost up rankings. You see Missouri down there at 25. Ron, I was not a journalist major, but I did, take a couple media classes and I did some of my best journalistic research to this point. Ron, do you know what Missouri is scheduled to finish as far as record projection?
If I had to guess, and this is only because they play in the second toughest conference in the sport, I'd have to guess probably 5-6, or I'm sorry, 5-7.
You were close if you switch them around. They are projected to finish 7-5 and 4-5 in the SEC. This is ESPN statistics. The FBI on a neutral field, everything equated by their projection has them finishing 7-5. What 7-5 team is a top 25 team that's 4-5 in their conference?
One that plays in the second best conference in America.
It should not exist. If you're 7-5, you're not a top 25 team. Well, you better go out and win one of those games you shouldn't have. And then I say 8-4. Like, what's the baseline for top 25? 8-4. You're not a very good team, but you're holding on. You're okay. You're a decently good team.
Are you
especially in a
arguing
good
that
conference.
there's more deserving teams, or do you think we should reduce the polls to like maybe the AP top 7?
Bro, there will be more deserving teams that deserve to be in the top 25, while Missouri and Tennessee, who Tennessee was also projected like 4 losses in the SEC. I was looking at it. There should be more deserving teams than that. And one of the good things about the poll last year, well, I was happy with the inclusion of, and not a great conference until more recently when we got money involved, but the Big 12. They at least threw a couple of them in there. They said, okay, there's at least a couple of these teams that are good, and a couple of those teams were solid teams. But it's like, why do we have all these stragglers on at the bottom just because you lose everybody good in your conference? You should not be in the top 25. You can't win a single good game. What I say, pull a Tennessee, lose everybody with a pulse. There's no reason you should be able to do that and be in your top 25 ranking because you're not good.
No, and it's just clearly like you said. I mean, I have to wear the red hat contractually, but I do have a tinfoil one on under this, and it's all about the SEC conspiracy to continue to prop up, ratings and that conference because of the rights that ESPN holds in regards to the SEC and the playoffs. It's the simplest answer that's right in front of us, and we have to pretend because ESPN lies every year about the quality of these teams to prop up the product that they overpaid for, but it's just simply untrue at this point. And as long as this sport continues to be a fundraising competition, and the fundraising doesn't have to be under the table and at car lots, and it could just be done with major donors at universities that invest in other things than locker rooms, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And we know how this is going to go. They're going to be somehow in the top 25. You'll have Washington with 3 losses to like Oregon, USC, and Ohio State. And they'll be outside looking in.
Absolutely. Q, I wanted to pivot a little bit, play a little bit of a Where's Waldo. Have you heard from the special teams coach?
No, I have not.
Neither have I. I would just figured I'd throw that out there and ask if you had heard from him. I did see notes that Connor Hawkins, the new kicker at Ohio State, a position of need for the last decade at Ohio State. It feels like the Buckeyes finally go out there and address it in the transfer portal. They go out and get a kicker that only missed 1 field goal last year. I did have a stat of the day before the show, Q, not as fun as your trivia. It was 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Any idea the relevance to that timestamp?
I feel like this is something of Ohio State has trailed in like big games or something like that.
No, it is the length of missed extra point compilations for game-winning extra
Jesus
points in college
Christ.
football on YouTube, because I've been looking at some of the most painful missed kicks because, football's a month away, and what better way to get ready for football season than nightmare fuel? So I've been watching Ohio State missed field goals and thinking about where does it rank as far as fan misery all time in missed field goals. And Q, while I like to give our kickers a hard time and complain about some of the things that we went through, I don't even think we cracked the top 5 as far as fan bases with justifiable complaints with their kicking game.
Interesting. Okay, I'm interested.
Well, Kris previewed it in the opening of the show. I wanted to first frame it and ask you, where do you feel like the missed field goals recently at Ohio State rank relative to the missed field goals by Pat McAfee in the backyard brawl in 2007? Pat McAfee famously missing 2 chip shots under 32 yards in the first quarter of that game. West Virginia ultimately goes on to lose 13-9 and miss out on their closest opportunity at a national championship in the modern era. Q, the Buckeyes have lost the game and shot at national championships on the foot of their kickers recently. Noah Ruggles with the devastating miss on New Year's Day. I feel like it's still traumatic. Occasionally it comes up in therapy talking about that moment of watching that missed kick, and then you look down at your phone and it's like, happy fucking New Year.
Yeah. We're supposed to be talking about your marriage. Look, we'll get to that. It's kick though. Yeah, so actually, I actually did a little rewatch on those highlights actually not that long ago with West Virginia and Pitt that year when West Virginia was number 2 in the nation. Now, I think Pat McAfee gets a hard shake because just for that program, that's the closest they've gotten in our modern era to a national champion. So I see why they're so hard on him. Now, that overcomes West Virginia played terrible in that game. Pitt was not even ranked. They were awful all the way through. Pat McAfee didn't miss a couple chip shots early on. And of course, the score reflects like if you made those, you would have won the game. But West Virginia just played terrible against an unranked team. So it is the backyard brawl. It is a rivalry game. We do talk about those. So a little more credit there. But I think he gets an unfair shake. Now, don't miss 32-yard field goals. I understand you're a college kicker. You should be nailing those. This is a high school. You nail those.
Are you giving him like a funny pass? Because I'm feeling like most kickers that aren't as funny as Pat McAfee don't get the pass that Pat gets for like the level of misfortune he caused his university there.
It's not really like a funny pass, but like just comparatively, we all know these games. Ohio State. We felt like when Ohio State missed field goals, this was not like Ohio State mailed it in. Terrible performance, whatever. It's like these are two really good teams going at it. It goes down to the wire and like it hurts because it's like, wow, we are right there. But our team also came out and performed. Like that's why the kick hurts so much. Against Georgia, there was a lot of, and I just remember this on Spaces arguing with Georgia fan. There was a lot of hate. People didn't believe Ohio State. They were like, "Oh, this SEC." They were like, "Brother, you gonna see." And of course, Ohio State comes out before the kick, premier Ohio State performance, and we're like, "Okay, we're there. We're the better team. We just need this kick to confirm that." And then we miss the kick, and we're like, "Ah." But it doesn't take away from C.J. Stroud's magic and the performance of that. That's why it hurts so much. Like that West Virginia team played like shit. I just watched they were terrible. And it's like, that's basically like if we went to last year and like with the Ohio State missing kicks and you're like, no, but we still remember Ryan Day, or not last year, the year before, Ryan Day completely letting off Michigan off the hook with that offensive play calling. Like, that's much in our mind. Somehow they got past that and just blamed Pat McAfee for that performance. That's how I would relate it. It's like that performance, but we blame the kicker instead of saying, Ryan Day, what the hell happened with Jeremiah Smith in the offense?
Hugh, I continue to dive into like how bad the kicking experience has been for certain fan bases. And the fact that there's a 7-minute compilation of teams losing games, not on missed field goals, but missed extra points to win the game. I guess I have to give a pass on like a 32-yard or a 37-yard missed field goal because I guess it could be even worse than that. We could be out here missing extra points. I mean, we could live in the misery of wide left, wide right, wide left of Florida State. And then I'm looking in the comments of the video and there's someone commenting on it and said, I can't believe you left out wide right part 4.
The wide right crew.
And it's like, I guess because it's recent memory, the multiple misses against Michigan, the Noah Ruggles miss against Georgia, it's so fresh in my mind. But man, it's never fun losing on the foot of a kicker.
No, it's not. It's just so different from the game because the last thing you want to talk about in a game is kicking. Is it cool to make a walk-off field goal and win? It's like, yeah, but like your memories of the game shouldn't relate. It's like penalty kicks in soccer. Like when things go to penalties, it's like this is a completely different game than what I just watched for the last 90 minutes. Like with football, if it's down to a kick, it's like we tackled better than them. We ran the ball well. Jeremiah Smith went off, but now I gotta, all that legacy is on the foot of a guy who hasn't touched the field in 30 minutes outside of kicking the ball off. So it's just a hard thing to do, but it's part of the sport.
Hugh, it is August 18th, and you have, I believe, if my total and tally is correct, fired 2 coaches already this season on the show for various reasons. So I wanted to present you with the final question of the day. What act by the Ohio State special teams is going to be the first instance of our special teams coach's job being called for on the timeline? Is it going to be his choice of punt returner,
Okay.
a missed field goal, or a short punt.
Okay, if I ban DG off of Twitter, because we gotta get rid of him, because the first mistake will be the first fireable mistake by according to DG, because I understand the trauma. I think it has to be a missed field goal. I think we can get over the punt returner because we just don't return punts like that at Ohio State for some odd reason, unless you put a guy back there that can actually return punts, which we never do. So,
Hey, we had Caleb Downs do it.
yes, and then we didn't see Caleb Downs again. They said, "Hey, Caleb, that was great. We're rarely going to play you back there, though." I'm glad you had a good time because that was your last time, almost. But yeah, I do feel like it's going to be a missed field goal. I mean, the other stuff, it'll lose your game, but it's like death by like 1,000 cuts. A missed field goal at the end of the game or a couple leading into a loss, you're going to get fired. It's just too much PTSD, man. It's hard. It's like, anybody else with trauma. The first thing you see that goes back to that, it's like, nope, no, I don't want it. I don't want to see it no more. Get us a new coach.
I have a new role post-national championship that I don't question my national championship winning head coach, but I do have to call out his most questioning hiring practice. And that's continually passing on Hall of Fame Twitter coach Ron James as the special teams coordinator at Ohio State.
Big mistake, man. You nailed it a while ago. Go get your soccer player. We wouldn't have these issues.
Go get you an elite soccer player, and you can't go wrong. Q. That's all I have today. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel if we're doing special teams talk. 3 weeks out from the start of the season, but man, it is like the dead season because it's like I feel like our fan base is so locked in with this team that unless there's actual new information being publicly that's publicly accessible, they don't want to hear from anybody or hear about anything because they know it all. They follow this team just as much as everybody who covers this team, and they're just as locked in as the people that get paid to talk about this. So, like, they're just sitting in front of their TVs like we are, waiting for the season to start at this point because it's like, I don't want to hear your camp speculation anymore. I don't want to hear your camp nuggets, your intel, your press conferences. Spot the ball.
I'm with you. And just last thoughts of that AP poll. You look at that poll. It's a lot of Ohio State opponents on it. You're just shoving it
back to that one last time before we head out of here. Q. There are 6 opponents in the top 25. Q. I guess before we get out of here, I'll ask you one more question in regards to this. Of the 6 opponents that the Buckeyes have in this AP poll, which one concerns you the most? And not even concerns you the most. I'll frame it like this. Which one is the most defensible loss?
I think
you have number 2 Oregon and number 5 Texas, Indiana, USC, Michigan, and Iowa.
I think the most defensible loss is Texas. I think it is right now, especially just given their roster, given the games on the road, bringing in a new defense with a lot of new starters. I think 8 was it? No, maybe 7 new starters on defense, something around that. So I think bringing in that's a defensible loss. The one I'm most looking forward to right now is that Indiana game, man. I think Indiana's coming back with a good team, replace some starters. Ohio State is in the same boat, and it's the early word is out. We love Ryan Day. National narrative, he's no Cignetti. He's beat him once. It's like Cignetti beat him last year, won a national championship, and we all forgot. They're 1-1. Ron, the stake of the future of the Big Ten might start to shape out in Bloomington. That's all I'm saying. It's a game
is this Ryan Day's Ryan Day's chance to redo his mistake with Jim Harbaugh? It felt like Ryan Day had a chance to slay the dragon and cut off the head of the Michigan program in 2020, but a worldwide pandemic saved them and ultimately gave them an asterisk national championship. But is this an opportunity for Ryan Day to really put his foot on the neck of the conference and really stomp out the Cignetti hype if he's able to humble that program and show them there's a difference between winning a one-off national championship at the losingest program in college football history, and then there's another thing about pursuing a statue at one of the winningest programs in college football history?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I don't believe Indiana's going anywhere. I think they're one of the new faces of college football, and people are just gonna have to get used to that as much as probably burns the eyes of a lot of fans to see because you're just so not used to it. But Ohio State has been Ohio State's been driving fast on the highway a very long time. Everybody's in the rearview mirror.
Not
Starting to look-
Georgia.
Yeah, well, Georgia's up there.
Georgia's not in the rearview mirror.
Racer X. They're up there and have gone off, but just barely in the Big Ten. Ohio State has been the class of the Big Ten, even without the Big Ten. And we talked about Dan Lanning coming in and that rivalry kind of budding out. And Ohio State's been slaved that dragon. He hasn't beat Dan Lanning in the regular season in a while, but we all look at that playoff performance and it's like, yeah, he's got him. Cignetti, you look to the right, you see the Indiana car starting to creep up. They got the recruiting momentum. NIL's pouring in. It's like, it's another one of those moments where it's like the future of the Big Ten and how people are going to paint it without them, again, maybe seeing each other to the Big Ten championship or the playoff. It's going to be the story of the season. Has Cignetti actually passed Ryan Day? Is he submitted as the best coach in college football? Or are we just all getting ahead of ourselves and Ryan Day is still the class of coaches in college football? I think they will start to get some answers to that in Bloomington because both teams are bouncing back with new rosters. Who's better in the offseason? Who's better, year by year? It's 1-1 right now. But one national championship each.
I'm betting on my coach and our program. But Q, that's all I have for today. Let the people know where they can find you.
That's a great answer. That's why this doesn't become the Hoosier roast. But most definitely.
Yeah, I know. Like, honestly, we're going to have to probably, I feel like we're going to have to do like a wife swap here on the platform. And me and Tyler are going to have to do a show together. And you and Kris Drew can do, your TVMA version of the Hoosier roast and whatever you guys want to talk about and all the gobbling that you guys do of that program.
Yeah, Big Ten homer. We're still fighting off the SEC bias. I gotta prop up somebody, but that was a lot of fun, man. I want to hear your reactions to the AP polls. What do you think about the rankings, the SEC group, the Big Ten group, and who in the Big Ten will surprise you this year that is in the poll and finish a lot higher? Let me know with that one. I am not hard to find, man. I'm finding Johnson on Instagram. I'm City Boy Quentin on Twitter, but Dead Air Sports is the best place to find me. So come here for all your Ohio State talk Monday through Friday, man. Hit that sub button. We're chasing 10K right now. So we are very close, trying to get there before the season. And Kris delivering content every day. We're delivering content most days. Tyler is around. It's a lot going on the Buckeye Roast and Dead Air Sports.
Reminder of how many subs we need?
Hey guys, big thank you for 60 6,700 subscribers. It's been awesome. You guys have been kind of crushing every goal, and I'm excited for the continued growth. Look, every like, every comment, every share, all of that helps us. Every sub, that all helps us as we try to get to 10K before the year ends. So do want to kick it back to Ron and Q, but thank you guys again.
Easiest way to kill that video is to get us to 10,000 subscribers, and then I can never play it again. Is that talking about slaying the dragon? If you never want to see the 6-7 video ever played again on this platform, get us to 10,000 subscribers. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and you'll never have to see that clip again.
For God's sake, y'all. I'm creating 5 new YouTube accounts tonight. Help me out.
If everybody helps Q out, everybody watching this show right now, there's usually about 100 people watching live when this first goes out. If everybody creates 5 YouTubes, subscribes, we should be there in no time. Actually, that would get it done. If all 100 people create 5 YouTube channels after the show, subscribe, we'll never play the 6-7 clip again. But if you want to find me, you can find me right here Monday through Fridays right here on Dead Air Sports for the Buckeye Roast right here with my guy Q at 10 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. You can catch me on Twitter at 2Ts2_TEES. And if you want to catch my college football edits, they've been dropping on Dead Air Sports on TikTok. That's at Dead Air Sports. So if you're into the types of things and hype videos, be sure to check that out. But you know how this thing ends around here, Q. It's always go Bucks. And of course, 6-7. No, what?
Let's get out of here.